What is up, guys? So we're doing another anomaly run with E6 Phainon, and this one is pretty much straightforward, to be honest. I think this might be one of the easiest anomalies that we got, and this is mainly because this boss is not shielding a specific team or path like the previous ones, like, you know, the ones that we had. They were shielding Elation and all of those shenanigans, but this one is not that bad. So I'm using the regular team. So one thing that I want to point out, with Sparkle before I said this, you can use either her signature Lightcon or DDD, but for this one specifically I'm using DDD. The reason, because if you look in here at this bar, you don't want this mech to go before Sunday, because if he goes, he might end up killing one of your characters, and this mech does a freaking ton of damage. And he also has splash damage, so the chances of one of your characters getting hit are pretty high. But if you use Sparkle DDD here, once you ult, you see that your Sunday goes before the mech, and this is what we want. So once you push Phainon with Sunday, it's pretty much done at that point. You push Phainon here, I'm just gonna use his skill to get Cerydra's buff, and from here on out, it's pretty much GGVP. Yeah, so this wave is gonna be one shot, and the next wave is gonna be the boss. And I think the boss is very easy because he has those bugs that he summons, which kind of helps you because they inflict some vulnerability on him. And like I said, this boss I think is kind of catered towards Mort and Ashvale, because if you notice, one of the buffs at the start, they inflict fire and electric lightning weaknesses on him. And I think whether you use like a fire or electric to him, it doesn't really matter. This boss is like this. He has the same mechanics as the from the previous mods, like Apok, and I think he did appear sometimes in Mock as well. But yeah, from here on out, like, you just kill the bugs, they inflict like the vulnerability buff like you see in here. And like I said, I don't think you really need an E6 final for this to work, because like we're gonna be seeing later on, I'm gonna have a lot of cycles left, a lot of turns left before the zero cycle even finishes. So the extra damage that you get from E6 is not really necessary. You only need to be invested in your supports, and that's the important thing. But yeah, I can kind of ult here if I want to, but I just want to get the Cerydra buff before like the 6 stacks. Yeah, even though I almost died here with Sparkle, but it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna be skilling here, and then I can just ult, and maybe I can ult in here with the Phainon if I want to. But yeah, from here on out, like, the boss is pretty much dead. This one doesn't really require that much mechanics or specific team comps. I think even if you have physical eyes, I'm not sure how the heck I can do in this boss though. Even though she is a new, she was kind of designed for this boss, but the head is kind of falling off so hard nowadays. It's kind of sad, to be honest. But yeah, next turn the boss is gonna be dying. And like you see here, I still have a few turns before the zero cycle even finishes. Yeah, the counter. Even more damage and debuffs on the boss. And yeah, like, look here, I still have like 4 turns and 3 turns, and this is kind of more because of the extra turn that you get from the E2. And yeah, like, I can even have another meteor with double meteors on Cerydra. But yeah, this is the run. This boss was kind of easy, to be honest. It's not anything complicated or like shield towards one specific team, but this is my gear, so it's the same as I was using my previous video. Usually I can change between either crit damage or crit rate body depending on whether I use him with Sunday or not, but for the Anomaly King stages you usually use him with Sunday. Cerydra, she's E1. I'm using her on this set. This is her Lightcon, like I said before. Again, you can use this one if you don't have the event Lightcon. I think you can get the event Lightcon from the shop though, but I'm not sure. My Sunday is 134, of course. This is his gear. And he is E1. Sparkle, she's E2. Honestly, I'm not sure if you can do it with E0 Sparkle or not. I think you can, but I'm not gonna be saying that for certain. But yeah, like for this one, you need DDD. You don't want to use her Litecoin unless if you're willing to keep resetting many times to get good RNG on the mech. Because, like I said, the mech is gonna end up killing one of your characters, and you have to reset, and it can be annoying if you're running a sustainless team for Phainon. But yeah, this is pretty much the run. An easy anomaly, to be honest. If you're using Phainon, you can just brute force like you usually do with the other ones. And see you next time.